We have concluded the tariff negotiations. The reciprocal tariff of 25% that the United States planned to impose on South Korea starting from August 1st will be reduced to 15%. Additionally, the tariff on our leading export item, automobiles, has also been reduced to 15%. Regarding semiconductors and pharmaceuticals expected to face future tariffs, we will ensure they are treated fairly compared to other countries. Throughout the negotiations, our government prioritized national interests and aimed for mutually beneficial outcomes under a principle of achieving tolerable results. Though time after the government was established was limited, it posed challenges. We refined our negotiation tactics and explored strategies to achieve mutually beneficial outcomes for South Korea and the United States. The most noteworthy aspect of this agreement is the expansion of cooperation with the United States in the shipbuilding sector. The Korea-U.S. Shipbuilding Cooperation Fund of $150 billion will cover the entire shipbuilding ecosystem, including ship construction, MRO, and shipbuilding equipment, and will invest in specific projects based on the demands of our companies. With renowned South Korean shipbuilding companies recognized for their exceptional design and construction capabilities, along with American companies excelling in advanced software solutions, we are optimistic about creating significant synergy in future shipbuilding areas, particularly in the exciting realm of autonomous ships. In addition to shipbuilding, a $200 billion investment fund will be created for sectors where our companies have competitiveness, such as semiconductors, nuclear power, secondary batteries, and biotechnology. Given the areas of investment for this fund, there is a high possibility that our companies will participate as strategic partners, which will provide great opportunities for those interested in entering the U.S. market. To minimize risks associated with fund operations, the U.S. government has agreed to take responsibility for acquiring the outputs from the projects, ensuring investments are made in reasonable and commercially viable projects. In light of the fact that the U.S. implemented reciprocal tariff measures to help reduce its ongoing trade deficit, it is indeed quite challenging to compare the sizes of the investment funds of Korea and Japan based on economic scale alone. According to the U.S. statistics for 2024, it is reported that Korea has a significant trade surplus of $66 billion, while Japan holds a slightly larger surplus of $68.5 billion. In this context, we carefully decided on an investment fund totaling $350 billion, which is relatively smaller compared to Japan's. Moreover, if we exclude the $180 billion shipbuilding fund led by our companies, our fund size is only $200 billion, which is just 36% of Japan's. During the discussions with the U.S., there were strong demands for opening our agricultural and livestock markets. However, considering food security and the sensitivity of our agriculture, we agreed not to further open our domestic rice and beef markets. Since its establishment in June, our government has been working tirelessly on trade negotiations with the U.S. despite a grueling schedule. The Ministry of Trade, the Economy and Agriculture Ministries, and others collaborated closely. Office for Government Policy Coordination, the Presidential Office coordinated closely. Our companies shared ideas to develop cooperative measures in manufacturing areas like shipbuilding, working together as one. Through today's agreement, much of the uncertainty in the export environment has been alleviated, and our companies can now compete on equal or even better terms compared to major countries. However, the 15% tariff on exports to the U.S. presents a different trade environment and a real challenge. The government will actively support our companies in strengthening their competitiveness and diversifying export markets. Our delegation at the U.S. Embassy will soon share information about the negotiations along with additional materials.